In our classes so far in this course, we had seen how to create a physical table in Oracle's database with the help of create statement. In this class, we are going to learn how to view or select the records which are available in the table with the help of SQL statements. Now, in order to make use of SQL statement or to construct a SQL statement and view the details available in the table, we have to make use of the select statement. Now, this will return the data from the database to the user when they run the select statement. Now, there are two core parts while creating the select statement. One is a select, another is a from. In the from clause, we have to list the tables from which you want to get the rows. Now, in this class, we will just focus on getting the details from only one table, but we can list n number of tables in this from clause. And coming to the select clause, here you state the columns which you want to see when you run the SQL statement. You can view entire columns which are available in table when you run the select statement, or you can restrict the number of column data what you want when you run the select statement. This we will learn what it means. Now, if you want to get the entire record, like all the records available in all the columns in that particular table, then what you have to write is select followed by the asterisk symbol, then the from clause and the table name. So, select and the from are the two core parts while writing the select statement. Then comes the star if you want to get all the column details, and in the from we list the tables. As I told, we will focus on only getting the records from one table in this class. Now, what I will do is, there is a prerequisite for this class. You have to create a table and insert the records. What I will do is, I will first of all create the table, that is toy, having toy name, color and the price as the columns, and they are having their respective data types which we have learned in our earlier class. And also I am going to insert few records in the database. Now, this is one of the way how we can insert the records into the database, that is insert into, we have to write the clause, then the table name and then the values. Here when we use this method, we have to enter the values for all the columns in the respective order. Now, what I will do is, I will copy this create statement from here. Let me first create the table, run this. Table has been created. Then I will insert the records. I will run those insert statements. So, all the rows got inserted. Next, I will commit the changes. So, once you commit, it will be reflected and will be available across the session, as well as it will persist in the database indefinitely until you delete or you drop the table. Now, what we will do is, we will come to our class document. I will run this statement, that is select all the tables, that is indicated by asterisk symbol over here from the toys table. Let me run this and see what and all details we had inserted, it is coming or not. So, we had inserted 5 rows. So, we are getting 5 rows over here when we run the select star from table. Now, here we didn't mention the columns which we want to see. Instead, we added this star. So, our table, if you see, is having 3 columns over here. So, accordingly, it has fetched all the columns and their respective data. Now, when we run this select star from toys, it won't fetch the invisible table columns. So, it will be excluded. Now, if you want to specifically get the details of the invisible column, then you have to explicitly mention the column names. If you want to view the invisible columns, you have to list them in the select clause. As I told, we have to write the column name over here. Now, suppose if you want to get the details of only toy name and color, what we can do is, we can write over here, I want toy name. First, I will run the toy name, as I am interested only in getting the toy name from the toys table. Let me run this. As you can see, we are getting only the details of toy name from the toys table. Now, suppose if I want to fetch the color, I will run this statement. Now, I am getting toy name and the color. Now, if I am not interested in the toy name, rather I am interested in only the price and the color, I will run this statement and I will get only those column details from the table with the help of this select statement. Now, it is a good practice, that is to only fetch the details of the columns which you want. That is, it is always a good practice to mention the column names when you write the SQL statement. Now, there are two things over here. One is, you are reducing the volume of data which is being fetched from the database and sent across the applications. Now, in the real life scenario, you will make use of database in order to store the details. Like if you are building one appointment application for a hospital or a clinic, you will save appointment details, consultant details, patient details in the database. Now, your goal should be to provide the details to the user in the user interface or in some other way very quickly. Now, if you mention the column names over here, the SQL query will run faster, it will fetch the data faster, it will send the data over the network very quickly if the volume of data is less. Now this is how you can improve the performance. And one more thing is, if you mention the column names instead of star, then suppose in future if your teammate modifies the table, like they will add a number of tables, it won't increase the volume of data what you fetch. Suppose at the time of creating a table, we have created only 3 columns in the table. Now in future, if your teammate adds 10 to 15 more columns, then the data will be inserted. Now if you write the select star from toys, then entire set of records will be fetched, which is unnecessary for your application. So whatever data you are consuming in your application, just fetch those many column data when you write this SQL statement. So this is how, with the help of select and the from clause, we can fetch the details from the Oracle's database tables and present it to the customer or the user.